Alrighty guys, the carb dyno is complete as far as I am concerned. So now we're going to get started into doing the EFI conversion. So we're really going to make all this stuff pretty, change a lot of these hoses and all this other stuff. So alright guys, we got the carbs off. That's right there, the carb plus the intake manifold. We've got the new ITB setup, I guess you could call it now. So we've got that ready, yeah, to get that stuck on there. So it actually doesn't take too long to take it off. You have to actually pull the carbs off first, then the intake manifold. I mean, unless someone knows something I don't, which they may, but all my hardware was like 13s, and I had to get a lot of, I had to have the shorty and a long one, but I was able to get it. It's not torqued very tight. I don't know if it should be or not, but everything was kind of hand tight. There's all that stuff there. So that hopefully here pretty soon we'll get that all attached and everything. We've got to figure out what to do about the heater core hose right here. So the heater core hose is attached right there to that bottom on the right side here with the valve. So we're gonna have to figure out what to do about that, but overall not a big deal. So as of last night, we've got the carb and intake manifold off. We are going to be installing this one today. We came across a problem though. It's not a huge problem, but it is. So if you look at the factory one, you can see it's a lot more narrower than this one is. So we can get, there's a stud that sits right about here. So on these, if you don't know, on these older Datsun cars, the exhaust manifold and the intake manifold are like right next to each other. They even share the same gasket. So let me show you right here. So as you can see, the header's still on, and you can see that the gasket right here. So we're getting interference with this stud and this stud here. So we're gonna have to machine that down on our sweet new belt sander. We're gonna have to, I'm basically gonna put this on just to mock it up and then just kind of see how much needs to come off of it. But we're gonna hit it with our belt sander to take that off. It's a pretty common thing with these manifolds. Any of these cast manifolds, they're not perfect. I mean, they'll get you 80% of the way, but you know, there's still a little bit of work. So, but yep, that's it for now. All right, so if you guys, if you've been following along, I've did a couple videos on this air motive regulator, and then I had it installed on the car. So this regulator is the only regulator I could find that would do carb and EFI. Again, if you haven't been following along, this basically, carb applications run very low fuel pressures, like anywhere from 4 to 10, sometimes even less. So on EFI applications, you know, it's like anywhere from 30 to 50. So I bought this regulator to use on this car for this specific reason. So also today, we're going to be switching it to the EFI mode, and it really comes down to the spring. So we're going to take this sucker apart with the 4 Allens here. We're going to swap over to the EFI spring. And then we're also going to take these fittings because we're actually going to try to figure out where we're mounting it today. Another thing that we're also doing is this fuel line right here. If you can see, it has a carb filter on it. So that's going to go. We already have a filter in line that's next to the pump. We showed that in another video. But some of these lines actually have to go because they're not EFI rated. Again, EFI runs like 30 to 50 PSI base pressure, and these lines aren't really cut for it. So we're gonna switch all that out. And so once we get all that done, we're gonna start wiring it up. If all goes well, we'll have the car fired up on the new setup here with the Mega Squirt installed, and the wiring is just gonna be done really poorly. So we're just gonna try to get it started today on the EFI stuff, and then we'll go from there.